Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I am bringing you a video in collaboration with some lovely ladies here in the beauty YouTube community. Some of them I have collaborated with before, and then others this will be my first time. So I am asking that when you're done watching my video that you go to these ladies' channels, all of whom will be listed in the description box below. Check out their videos, take a look around, and then go ahead and subscribe if you see any other things that you like. Now this video is about my top 5 foundations, and it was the brainchild of Miss Marlo Keenan here on YouTube, aka the Queen of Glitter. Now I don't know if she's claimed that title, but that's the title that the people have given her, so there it is. And if you're not familiar with Miss Keenan, I'm sure you are, but if you're not, then you most definitely need to go check out her channel once you're done here. She is hooking up the looks over there. She always does some fierce eyeshadow looks. She's got really incredible lid space. Like, it should be illegal how much lid space she has, but she does some really fierce eyeshadow looks. She also goes live every week, every Thursday evening, so please check her out if you haven't already. Now the only hard part about this video was narrowing it down to just 5 foundations. So I did throw in a couple of honorable mentions. So if you'd like to know what my top 5 foundations are and a couple of other good ones, then just keep on watching. So I'm not going to be doing this in any particular order, although I will leave my top 2 for the end. Okay, now for those of you that have recently started following me, you may not know that your girl used to do some foundation reviews, okay? Because as much as I like eyeshadow, I really love trying new foundations as well, and I used to do that on a regular, but as you may know, this year I put the kibosh on that because I have so many. So this was an easy video for me to do. The top 5 came to mind very quickly, but then, you know, it was difficult because a lot of the foundations I've tried over the years I really do like and I continue to use. So I am going to add, I have 2 honorable mentions here, but yeah, I'm going to start off with my top 5 in no particular order until we get to the last 2. First one I'm going to start with is from Lancome, and it's the Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. And my shade is 460 Suede W, but this isn't it. This is 470 Suede Cool. This is one I bought for the summer. I don't have my winter shade because I finished up that bottle. Now, you don't hear very much about Lancome, I don't think, here on YouTube, and you certainly don't hear very much about this foundation, but I assume it's because it's an old foundation. It's been around for years, killing the game. And it's full coverage. All the foundations I'm going to talk about today are all full coverage, can be built up to full coverage because I'm a full coverage type chick, okay? And this is a natural finish. It is mattifying, but it's not a dry matte. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's not a dull matte. It's a natural matte, and it wears really well throughout the day. And yeah, I have used it. It's been a staple in my collection for many years now. As I've gone on to try newer foundations, some of which you will see here today, I haven't used this one as much, but it's still, if I'm going to do a top 5 favorite foundations, this one had to be included. Next up is a foundation from the drugstore, and it's another one that I've used for years, and it's from Maybelline, and it's the Fit Me foundation, and it comes in a glass bottle. I think it's one of the few drugstore foundations that come in a glass bottle. But yeah, the only downside to this foundation is that it doesn't have a pump, so you have to pour it out. Lancome does have a pump also in a glass bottle, and this foundation as it's, again, I've used for years, and they've expanded the shade range. So as they've expanded it, I have found other shades that work better for me. This one is in the shade 338 Spicy Brown. And you have to say it like that, Spicy Brown. And this one is a good match for me in the winter time. And yeah, I'm still using this. I haven't finished this bottle yet. I'm almost done. I still use this foundation. Fairly affordable, because drugstore ain't so affordable these days, but yeah, still fairly affordable and lasts all day, and you can't go wrong. A nice finish, matte, full coverage. You can't go wrong with this foundation. Next up is a high-end foundation, and it is from NARS, and this is the Natural Radiant Foundation. This is in the shade Caracas. I think that's 3.3. I think it's 3.3. I don't have my glasses on, but it's Caracas. And this foundation has a pump. And of all the foundations that I'm currently using or have used in the last several years, this one matches me the best. And it has a peachy undertone. It's described as having a peachy undertone, which makes me think, should I be buying foundations with peachy undertones instead of golden undertones? I don't know how many brands make though foundations with a peachy undertone, but anyway, this one works for me. It's a fabulous match, and technically it probably even shouldn't be a favorite because it is not a matte foundation really. It's a radiant foundation. It's not that radiant, but this doesn't last on my skin for as long as the other foundations that I'm going to show you, but because the finish is just so beautiful. I wore this foundation. I do have a review of this foundation on my channel, as well as I believe I might have one of this one too, but I definitely have one of this one where I did several day wear tests. I mean, like I said, I go in on my foundation reviews, and this did not hold up for as long as I needed it to hold up, but the finish is just so beautiful, so natural and soft that I just keep buying it. This is probably like my third or fourth bottle, like for real. And I just mix it. I just mix it with my other foundations because it's just, with every foundation, it's just so beautiful. So yeah, if you don't necessarily want a mattifying foundation, then I think this foundation, if you have normal to dry skin, I think this foundation will be fabulous for you. But yeah, definitely a favorite. And then my number 2 favorite foundation is from Estee Lauder, another oldie, and it's the Double Wear Foundation, and my shade is in, I think this is Maple 5 and 1.5. This is the only foundation that I have with a neutral undertone, and it's not the best match for me, but it's good. It's definitely a good match. It's just not, you know, the best, but it's a good match for me. It does not come with a pump. I bought this pump. This is also a pour bottle, but this foundation, and I'm sure you already know all about it, the formula, the consistency is thin. I think it is one of the thinnest foundations that I'm going to show you, that I have in my collection, but it's still full coverage. 2 layers, 1.5 layers, and it's full coverage, and this sucker wears all day long. And I really like it. I like it so much that I recently purchased it in what I think will be my summer shade, because baby, if you want to make sure that your makeup is going to last, your foundation is going to last throughout the day, this your girl right here. And then last but not least, my number 1 for right now, because all of these at one time or another were my number 1s, I should say that. But my current number 1 right now, which will be of no surprise to anyone who's been following me, It is also from NARS, but this one is the Soft Matte Foundation. And I think that, oh, this is in the shade Caracas as well. I think Soft Matte is the perfect description for this foundation because that's exactly what it is. It is matte, but it's not a dull matte. It doesn't take the life out of your face. It's a soft matte. This one is a squeeze tube, which I really, really like. And this formula, the consistency of it is also more on the thin side, not as thin as the double wear, but definitely, you know, will move around on your hand. But the coverage, can we talk about the coverage? Can we talk about the coverage? The coverage of this, maybe 1.5, because you know I really like to, I don't want to see nothing on my skin, okay? No blemishes, no nothing. But the coverage on here, you could really get away with one. I can normally get away with one layer with this foundation. The coverage is so good. And again, it's a soft matte, so you don't look all dried out or dried up. And it wears beautifully for hours, all day long. It wears beautifully, and it's just a really, really nice formula. Now, this color, both of these, this is the Radiant and this is the Soft Matte, they're both in the shade Caracas, but they're not the same shade. This one here is just a tad bit darker, richer than this shade, but they both work for me, which I'm happy to report. So yeah, this one, if you're an oily girl like me, you definitely want to add this to your arsenal. Now, those are my top 5, but there are a couple more that I wanted to mention because they're just really good too. There's actually another one which I forgot about. Dagnabbit. Again, like I said, I've tried so many foundations over the years and so many have been good. The 2 that I brought with me though, this is from Fenty Beauty. This is the Soft Filter, I believe, the Soft Filter Matte Foundation. And my shade, oh my god, oh, this is in the shade 410. And I have like this much left in here. And the reason it didn't make it into my top 5 is because this breaks me out, unfortunately. And the fact that it breaks me out, I still have only like this much left, and I plan on finishing it up. This is a nice foundation. It has a pump, and it's this, I think this is the first foundation I purchased that was full coverage, that the consistency was so thin. This one is also thin. In the same way the double wear is thin, this one also has a thin formulation. And it's just really nice. The coverage is nice. It wears really well. It feels so lightweight. You don't feel like you have anything on your skin. Really, really nice, but breaks me out. But still needed to mention it. And then last but not least, I have the Power Play foundation from Cover FX. This one is in the shade G80. This is my winter shade. I also just bought my summer shade, a new bottle, in the shade G100. And this is also another squeeze tube, but unlike the NARS, which is nice and like oblong and round, this one is square, which is a pain in the ass when you're trying to get down to the last drop. But I do like the squeeze tube on here, that it's a squeeze tube. And this one is just about finished. So is my summer, the one in my summer shade, just about done. This is a really nice full coverage long wearing foundation as well. But of all the foundations that I've shown you today, this one probably has the thickest consistency. Like if you squeeze this out on your hand, it's not going to go anywhere. But it doesn't feel heavy on the skin, and it just, I love the coverage. I love the coverage. It's a good match for me. And yeah, it wears all day. So I do have a review of this foundation on my channel, as well as the Fenty and the NARS. And I didn't do a full review of this one, but I have talked about this one as well. And I think probably one of my favorites videos. And yeah, that is it. Please let me know in the comments below, what are your top 5 foundations? What are the foundations that have been holding you down either for years or in the more recent months? Please go ahead after you're done watching this video and check out the other ladies' channels and their videos. Their channels will be listed in the description box below. If you liked this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do reviews, swatches, hauls, and tutorials every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.